This is Contractor Sense with Ruth King.
Welcome to Contractor Sense. Here you discover ideas, tactics, news, and information that matters to your contracting business and you. I'm your host, Ruth King. This episode is sponsored by Financially Fit Business. Get the business tool that makes your financial statements come alive and turns data into impactful graphs that help you see what is going on with your business. Go to www.financiallyfit.business and get started today. Thank you for joining us. Here is how we will help your business and you. What if you're a smaller contractor who is looking to grow? What if there was a way to do it without burning a lot of cash and adding a ton of overhead? My guest today, Furman Haynes, partner and work hero, gives you ideas on how to do just that. Furman, welcome to Contractor Sense.
Thank you, Ruth. It is a distinct honor and privilege to be here. Excited for this.
My pleasure. So let's talk a little bit, because our audience may not be familiar with what Work Hero is. So can you give us the 10,000-foot overview?
I'd be happy to. So we are focused in some ways on the same problem that you have spent your entire career on, which is there's so many technicians out there that are great craftsmen. They're great in the field. That's why they started their own business. When it comes to the business side, they often struggle, right? And that's where we come in. So I think where you, Ruth, have spent, so many years helping contractors understand their numbers, we're here to really alleviate their administrative burden, hopefully free up some of their time so that they can spend more time learning their numbers. So what we do is we're effectively a remote back office team of experts that really know the HVAC industry very well. We can come in, we hook into your existing systems, whether that's, House Call Pro or one of the other software, plus your QuickBooks. And then we just get work done for you. So we build a lot of price books for our customers, which is a really important thing in this industry, custom built into your software. We do a lot of billing and accounts receivable work to actually collect for our customers. We do rebates, which are these heat pump incentives are huge in many other states. We can really do a variety of different things depending on the customer himself. So that's a quick overview.
So you can do that without adding overhead, and paying payroll taxes and all the other fun benefits that come along with hiring somebody internally to do it. And to do what you do, you need more than one person.
Yeah, you got it. We really, when we started Work Here, we spent a lot of time with the owners that were just getting started, right? The guys at 1 or 2 or maybe 3 trucks. And as you know, at that level, it's often their cousin or their wife who's working a second job, who is the one that's doing the administrative work, or it's the owner himself. And I mean, first of all, I got to give a shout out to all of usually it's the spouse or the wife in this industry who we think of the businesses that make it in this industry are it's often thanks to the hidden invisible work of those spouses or other office managers. So some of those that we work with, like Crystal at Wesco 53 is a business up in New York, or Gretchen at Steel Heating in Michigan. These are people that really run the back office operations of these businesses, and that's why they're as successful as they are. For many out there, for many businesses out there, they don't have that Crystal or that Gretchen, and that's where we come in. So we give you a fractional, a part-time expert who knows your business, knows your systems, works with you every single week to get stuff done. So as you said, if you're looking to stay lean and manage your overhead as you grow, I think we're a great option.
Yeah. And the thing that as you grow, you're going to hit several levels that what I call no man's land. And, you can start it as 1 or 2 or 3, trucks, or even 1 truck to begin with. I mean, you still can handle that pretty much by yourself. But by the time you hit 2, 3, 4 trucks, you're in a situation where you need some help. Otherwise, you're going to lose things, you're going to implode, and those types of things. So, providing the back office types of things that you do actually makes it easier for somebody to add that 4th truck before they absolutely have to have it internally.
Yes. Yeah. You call it no man's land. We call it the administrative growth trap. And this is real. We actually have seen it in the data. So I'll give a shout out to our mutual friend, Brian Orr. at HVAC school, we ran a survey with Brian and the HVAC school audience about a year ago. We got about 1,000 people to take it. Most of them were business owners. And what we saw in the data was that basically exactly what you're describing, around 1 million in revenue. So you're usually at 2 or 3 trucks. And past that point, the owner can no longer scale himself, right? And so he can no longer have all customer communications and all of the job related paperwork and all of the expenses can no longer flow through him. You actually have to set up systems and delegate. And so what we see in the data is that a lot of businesses get stuck around 1 million, or 1.5 million, and they never break that kind of $2 or $3 million ceiling. And that's what we're at work here. That's, what we're here to do. So hopefully we can include in the show notes, but we can include a link to that report because I think it's it's some
We
good
can do
data to
that.
look at.
Yeah, we will definitely do that. So just send me the link and I will add it to the show notes. So what are your feelings about maintenance?
Oh, big question. I was just on the phone with a contractor yesterday who I asked him, do you have a maintenance plan in place? And he said, no, I don't believe in those. And I asked him why. And, uh, I got the normal response, which is that in this industry, I think a lot of the small contractors who we love and we work with, right? We tend to work with the really high quality craftsmen, the kind of guys that go to Brian Orr's symposium. And I think sometimes these maintenance plans, because of the way they are marketed often by the PE backed or the larger companies, they get a bad rap. But at the end of the day, as you know better than me, Ruth, and you could describe this, these maintenance plans allow you as a business owner. Let's talk about both what's good for your customer, but what's also good for your business. They allow you to create a structure to create what's not truly recurring revenue, but something like reoccurring revenue. And I believe, and we believe at Work Hero, there is an ethical way to put them into place, to market them, to explain to the homeowner, what you're going to be doing during those maintenance visits. And of course, especially in this macro environment, I'm sure you see the same thing we do, which is that we're moving into more of a repair instead of a replace kind of market. I think it's really important for business owners to consider putting maintenance plans into place so that they can get through those shoulder seasons and aren't just trying to make most of their money during the summer months.
Yeah, you can be weather driven or weather dependent. Choose. And I mean, I can prove that maintenance saves money, and I have done it over and over and over again. And those of you who are listening probably have heard this before, but you're going to hear it again. Go do, and I've done it on my system when it was brand new too, and it still worked. We proved it. I have it on video. Go to a system, take an amp draw off the condenser fan motor, clean the system thoroughly, let it dry, take another amp draw. We all know that the amp draw goes down. So you can't tell me that it doesn't save money. And that's the most important thing that a customer needs to see. So maintenance does work. And perhaps the person you were talking to never had the opportunity to think about it in those terms. Because if you can show a customer that he or she will save money as a part of maintenance and not do the heavy sales and all that sort of, cruddy things that happen sometimes, you've done the customer a good service. And that's what we do.
Yeah. And I think you're exactly right. And, what we see at Work Here with all the customers that we work with is, so many guys, they start on this industry, they're doing new construction or install heavy businesses, primarily on the residential side. And it takes some real work to shift your business towards adding these maintenance plans. And when I say work, I don't just mean the pricing of them and the marketing of them, although those are very important points. I mean, actually the operations, right? Retraining your guys or hiring new guys to focus on this. The scheduling and dispatching of these calls looks very different, right? And your dispatch operation has to level up to add any sort of maintenance or service agreements, right? Because you have to figure out how to move them around on your schedule and use them as fill in and be able to communicate effectively with the customer. And it just requires a level of of systems on that side that a lot of the smaller guys don't yet have, and we get that, and that's one of the things we help do is set up those operations so that you're prepared for to actually go execute well.
Cool. So if somebody wants to contact you or wants to find out more about Work Hero, how do they do that?
Yeah, it's as easy as going on to our website www.workhero.pro, pro, and there's a form you can click on, fill out your information. Personally will get in touch with you, usually within a day. And I'll say we tend, as I sort of alluded to, we really focus on helping the small operations. So if you're between 1 to 4, 1 to 5 trucks, usually you've crossed around 500K in revenue, but you're not yet at 4 million, somewhere in that range. That's when we really specialize in coming in and being able to help. So if that description fits yours, especially if you don't have a full-time office manager, please get in touch.
Very good. Thank you for listening to Contractor Sense. We'll be right back.
Imagine you had total freedom. You didn't have to worry about money. You didn't have to be a slave to your business. The words, "I can't," are eliminated from your vocabulary. What if you could do what you want to do, whenever you want to do it? A financially fit business could give you that freedom. How? By knowing what your financial statements are telling you and taking action based on what they say. You can do this in less than 10 minutes a month, at an investment of less than taking your family out to dinner once a month. And if your financial statements are a mess, you can get help. Go to www.financiallyfit.business or click on the QR code below to get started today.
We're back. Thanks for listening to Contractor Sense. I am speaking with Furman Haynes, who is the, partner in Work Hero, but, a very important force in Work Hero. Let's put it that way. And Furman, before the break, we were talking about smaller guys. And one of the things that I think you believe and most of us believe is keeping things local. And can you describe that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, you know as well, Ruth, that private equity consolidation is coming for this industry, and it's already here. And that's a force that I think everyone has to reckon with. And what we believe at Work Hero is these big companies, their playbook, what they do when they come in is they focus on two things. It's operational efficiency and it's financial discipline, right? It's trying to create efficiencies in the way that you manage your overhead and use of software and systems. And then it's knowing your numbers and being able to, squeeze even more out of less. And our hope and belief is that we, especially in this era of AI, that we can give those same advantages to the independent contractors, so they can compete, so they can stay independent if they so choose. And that's our, that's really a huge part of our mission at Work Hero.
Yeah. So a lot of the people who are, 1, 2, and 3 truck guys always ask me this question, how do I start my business or where do I get my customers? And my answer to them always is to choose a neighborhood that you want to work in and drive your truck around there every Saturday morning and do marketing in those areas. And everyone I've told to that and who has actually done it, not just said I'm going to do it, but actually done it and did the marketing with it and everything like that, has actually owned that neighborhood in about a year to 18 months.
Yeah. It's a great, I mean, whenever I talk to a contractor and I ask them about their marketing spend, and get a sense of their budget, and I say, what are you spending it on? And sometimes they'll tell me they're spending it on paid ads or they're spending it on complex SEO. And then I ask them, when's the last time you tabled at a community event? Or when's the last time you actually created door hangers? These are really simple, guerrilla marketing tactics at the local level, but I see them bearing, to your point, bearing a lot more fruit than, so than some of the more quote unquote sophisticated methods. So totally with you on that.
Yeah, where I live, every year we have several community get-togethers for the city. And we have this big area where you can get a tent and all the other fun stuff. And I go there all the time. And you would be surprised how many local contractors actually have a a table in that area. And it's not only HVAC, it's electrical, it's plumbing, it's flooring, it's oh my goodness, I can't even remember all the different, but they're all the local contractors who are around the area who want to, be in the area and do work where we are. And that's a, perfect thing to do for a community event. And it doesn't cost a lot either, I would imagine.
Mhm.
Yeah. So the AI piece of it, I mean, we could spend days on the AI piece of it. Because there's so much out there now with respect to what's going on with AI. I don't think, it's wild, wild west from my perspective in terms of that. And the reality of it is we don't know what the end result is going to be yet. We just don't know.
Yep. Yeah. It is the Wild West. I totally agree with that. What we're excited about at Work Hero is, I think, the opportunity to leverage this powerful technology to help small contractors. I think what this technology is good at, if nothing else, is working with unstructured data, right? I mean, at Financially Fit, all so much of your work, as you talk about, is around the trash in, trash out problem. And historically, you had to spend real manpower and real resources on structuring data, on organizing, the classic sort of breakdown between House Call Pro and QuickBooks, and making sure that every single expense gets categorized correctly, and et cetera, et cetera. There is now, I mean, QuickBooks has built some of this into their software. There's sometimes some good, the integration between House Call and QuickBooks is improving. But we see in a variety of different areas in the back office this opportunity to build custom workflows that are handling that messy data. So, reading emails that come in from a customer and being able to automatically not just reply to the email, which sometimes you may want, sometimes you may not, but take that information and have it live inside of your other systems like House Call Pro, right? And so you could follow up on a quote and make sure that quote, or make sure that invoice that it gets processed is actually sent over to QuickBooks. Vendor bills often come in a variety of different formats, right? A PDF, a Word doc. We anyone who's dealt with
Facts.
this, like, fax is I don't know if AI can read the fax yet. Probably, actually, I think it'd do fine.
Sure.
Um,
It can read a fax. You just have to upload it.
Exactly. And so before AI, I think you had to spend a lot of money on expensive either people or software integrations to make sure all that data lives in one place. And I think we're able to, at Work Here, what we're really trying to build is like enterprise quality back office support and operations using AI at actually a pretty competitive price. And that's because of this technology. So I'm really excited about what it can do for contractors. Obviously, it's still a buzzword. Obviously, there's so many people that are snake oil salesman about it, and we try not to be. We try to demystify it, but it is a huge huge opportunity for the industry.
It is a tool that we can use to make our businesses more efficient and give us the data we need to have. Period. That's it.
Yep.
So, final thoughts.
I am just happy to get to come on and talk to a legend of the industry. I think one thing that you always say, and I appreciate, is talking straight with contractors about, they have to want it, right? They have to want to know their numbers and put everything in place so that they can improve their operations. And I totally agree with you. And what I would say is, at Work Here, we believe that if we can make their lives just a little bit easier, right? We see that your average contractor at the size we work with is spending about 15 to 20 hours per week on paperwork, right? And so I think that so much of them, of their big plans or visions or being able to know their numbers, ultimately comes down to just managing all these balls, right? Juggling so much. And so I'm hopeful for lots of other solutions out there, but hopeful for Work Heroes in the market that's going to be able to clean up their operations and help their operational data get smoother, so that Financially Fit and others out there can then take that data and make sense of it on the financial side. So very thankful that you invited me on, and look forward to more soon.
Furman, thanks so much. And the website is workhero.pro, correct?
That's it. You got it.
All right. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Ruth.
And thanks to all of you for joining us. Choose one thing that you discovered and implement it in your business. These ideas, tactics, and strategies help you make more money, have more free time, and give back. If you like today's program, spread the word. Please review this podcast on any device you're listening to it on. Help a fellow contractor make more money too. For comments or questions, call me at 770-729-0258 or email ruthking@hvacchannel.tv. Thanks for listening. Have a great and profitable day.